So let's start. We'll start with our second lecture on three-phase system. First, last Tuesday, what we learned was how the three-phase was generated and one of the interconnection of three-phase. So the second interconnection of three-phase we'll study today, which is your delta connection. So how does a delta looks like? This is a closed loop formed by three wires. So you have one wire which represents your R, the other Y, and the other B. Third one is your B. So it forms a closed loop over here, and terminals comes outside from here, here, and here, and connected to the loads. So how this is basically formed? We take the dissimilar ends of three-phase windings and connect with one another. That means what I'm trying to say is, if suppose this is your R1, this is your R2, this is your Y, right? This will be your Y1, this will be your Y2. So Y1 will be connected to R2, dissimilar ends. So Y2 is over here, so obviously it will be connected to B1. Similarly, this point will be B2, the other terminal. B2 connected to 1. So 1 connected to 2, 1 connected to 2, 1 connected to 2. So this is how your delta connection is done. And obviously these three terminals are taken out to connect three-phase loads at the output. Now if you compare this one with your star connection, I will just draw a star connection over here for you. There was a neutral point. This was your R, this was your Y, this was your. So we studied star and said it as 4-wire three-phase system. They both are three-phase system, no problem. But 4-wire why? Because RYB plus neutral wire. But over here there is no neutral point, only direct three wires. So 1, 2, 3 terminals that comes outside from here. So it is a three-phase three-wire system. Please be careful of this. Three-phase three-wire system means delta. Three-phase four-wire system means star with neutral. If there is no neutral in star, then it will be three-phase three-wire system again over there. Three-phase is very easy, you see. Next, what we'll do, we'll try to find out the relation between line and phase voltages. So how to find out line and phase voltage difference? So what was our basic definition of line and phase voltage? We'll go by that. So between any two terminals or between any two lines, if we are measuring the voltage, we were getting the line voltage. So this was our line, this was our line, or this was our line, or this was our terminals. So between 1 and 2, if you measure, what you will get? VRY. Over here, what you will get? VYB. Between 1 and 3, you will get VRB. So you have line voltages, but no neutral point is there. If there is neutral point, then only we can measure your phase voltage. So that's why, since there is no neutral point, we cannot segregate your um, line voltage and phase voltage. That's why both are taken to be equal. So VL is equal to VPH in this case. Just the opposite over there. Okay, there was IL equal to IPH in case of star. In case of delta, it will be line voltage is equal to phase voltage. VL is equal to VPH. And over there, what we found out, VL equal to root 3 VPH. Over here, we'll find out that IL equal to root 3 IPH. Everything are same, just opposite to one another. Now, going to the first diagram. If you look into these three windings, you see three currents can flow in. This is a closed loop, so current can flow in this loop. So in this R winding, I can think as IR current. In this Y winding, I can think as IY current. In this B winding, I can think as IB current. Always this current which is shown in this line 1, 2, 3 should be outward. It is coming out of this, because at this end you have to connect a load, and load consumes power. So current has to flow into the load. So this current direction has to be outward always. Please remember that. Okay. So now you see at this point, this is a node forming over here. This is a node over here. This is a node over here. So if you apply KCL at this node, what you will get? IR to be incoming and IB to be outgoing. And this is again outgoing. Suppose this is I1. This is terminal 1, so I1. So can I write like this? I1 is outgoing, which is outgoing IB. I am applying KCL. So incoming equal to outgoing current. So I'm writing the outgoing current on one side, I1 plus IB. What is the incoming at this node? Is equal to IR. Now what is I1 then? Is IR minus IB. That is what is shown over here. That's why the current over here is written IR minus IB. So I can write it as IRB. Now what is IR, IB, IY? These are your phase currents. These are your phase current, IPH. What is IRB or IBR or VBR, VRY, VYB? What are this? Phase voltages. So IRB will be your, sorry, line voltages. So what will be IRB or IYB or IRY? It will be your line current. So IRB is your line current. So you have your line current also flowing in the lines, and also you have phase current which are flowing in the windings. In this winding, which current flows? Phase current. At the output, which current we get? Line current. So there will be some relation between output and input currents over here. Now you can apply KCL and find out the other things over here also. If you apply KCL at this point, so this is 2, so let it be I2. So I2 is outgoing, so let me write I2 over here. At this node, which is outgoing? IR. So I can write I2 plus IR. And which is incoming at this node? IY. So equal to IY. So I2 is equal to IY minus IR. See, IY minus IR. Similarly, you can apply KCL at this node and write this equation. I'm leaving this up to you. You can find out it easily. So how you are finding the line currents? You are applying KCL at the 3 nodes. So on my this slide, I have applied KCL at the 3 nodes and written your I1, I2, I3 equation. So I am seeing that I1 is a phasor sum of IR and IB, I2 is a phasor sum of IY and IR, I3 is a phasor sum of IB and IY. So now what we'll do, next thing, we'll draw the phasor diagrams. Now since VL is equal to VPH, so this is VRY, this is VYB, this is VR. You could have written as VR also, no problem, because line is equal to phase voltage. This as VB, this as RYB, right? So this is RYY, this is B. So you could have written in terms of phase voltage RYB, VR, VY, VB, or over here as it is written in terms of line voltage VRY, VYB, VBR. Because both are same, there is no problem in writing any of the voltages. Now what we'll show? We'll show the current, because current we are seeing is the resultant of two things, means two different currents. So what we'll do, since this is VR, right? This is VR. That's why it's better to draw in terms of phase voltage. Why, I'll tell you just now. So it's better to write VY over here. It's better to write V RYB. Yeah, B over here. Now we are taking inductive winding. In an inductor, current lags. So lag, I told you which direction you should show, clockwise. So from VR to IR, which direction you are going? This is VR, this is IR. So clockwise, right? From VR to IR. So current is lagging by some angle phi. Then again VY to IY, some angle phi again. Then VB to IB, again some angle phi. All direction you see clockwise. From V to I, clockwise. So that means I is lagging your voltage. Now next thing is what we did previously. Previous was a in star. What we did, we are finding VL in terms of VPH. Now we are finding IL in terms of IPH. So what we did, VR brought on the opposite side, we got minus VR. What we'll do now, IR brought on the opposite side, minus IR. IY brought on the opposite side, minus IY. IB brought on the opposite side, get minus I. So you will get all these things. Now you can draw the resultant in between this. What you will get? IR minus IB. What is IR minus IB? Is nothing but I1. What is IY minus IR? This is a resultant between these two. This is nothing but I2. What is I3? IB minus IY, which is nothing but this. Over here also you can draw the resultant. What will be? It will be IY minus IB. Over here also you can draw the resultant. It will be IB minus IR. Over here also you can draw the resultant, IR minus IY. So if you draw the whole thing, whole complete all the whole figure, I told you how many equal divisions you will get, 12. So 12, 360 divided by 12, each division will be 30 degree. So all things are equal like star only. Except what? This phasor diagram will be drawn in terms of current. Previous phasor diagram was drawn in terms of voltage. No problem. You can remember the last phasor diagram, draw that also, no problem. But you can show with an angle phi also. That is very good, because it is an inductive winding. So it's good to show by an angle phi. Otherwise you could have shown this as IR, this as IY, this as IB, bring IR in the opposite direction, show the resultant, no problem. That is also correct, like the previous one in star, what we did. So both are correct. You can do it anyways, but this is more means it is more exact to draw this one, this diagram, because it represents both voltage and current out here. So these are your phase voltage, these are your line voltage. So take anyone, take IR minus IB, that is your IRB. Take YR, anyone you can take. So I have taken IRB over here. What I do? Square root of parallelogram law. So IR square plus IB square, taking the magnitude. So IR square plus IB square plus 2IR IB into what is the angle? This small angle is 30 degrees. So total angle is 60 degrees. Total angle 60 degree, 30 plus 30. So cos 60 half. Calculation see all same, except all are current. All are I. Previously over here, what we written? V. All were V. So same calculations. So now IRB is which current? Line current. IR is which current? Phase current. So IL is equal to IPH square, IPH square. This becomes IPH into IPH square. Cos 60 is half. So this two cancels out. So IPH square, IPH square, IPH square. 3 IPH square. So IL equal to root 3. So these two relations you have to know. VL equal to VPH, IL equal to root 3 IPH. Just the opposite to that of star. This proof comes for your exam. Again, I am telling you, this relation comes for your exam. You have to draw phasor diagram, draw the main diagram, write these equations, draw the phasor diagram, draw this one. So derive this one, because if you derive this is just one line, you can get 2 marks. If it is a 5 marks question, more than that, you have to draw phasor diagram, you have to draw this diagram, show how this equation is coming, derive all these equations. So this is very important for star and delta. This derivation comes for your exam. Please study these two derivations. Okay. Again, lastly, the conclusions what we had taken. Previously, what we had written, all conclusions were written in terms of voltages. Now, same thing will be written in terms of line currents. So line line current is 120 degree apart. See IRB to IYR. So here is a gap over here. So 30, 30, 30. So from here, right? Oh, sorry. So anywhere between this is VYV. So from IR to this one 30 degree, from this one 30 degree, from this one to this one 30 degree, from this one to this one 30 degree. So total how much? 30 into 4, 120 degree. So from one line voltage to the another line voltage, which is IRB to IYR, phase difference is how much? Sorry, current. Line current phase difference is how much? 120 degree. So phase difference is 120 degree over here. And next thing is line current phase difference and line current and phase current. This is my line, this is my phase current. What is the phase difference? 30 degree. So you should remember all these things. Difference between line voltages is 120 degree in case of star. Same thing in case of line current. Over here, line current and phase current are separated by 30 degree. Over there, line voltage and phase voltage was separated by 90 degree. And between your this line voltage and line current, how much is the difference? This is 30 degree, this is 5. So how much will be the difference? 30 plus 5. So that is 30 plus 5. Again, same thing over there also. And lastly, the power formula, all are same. So power formula, previously, what will be the total power in three-phase system? If you have a single phase power, you do VI cos phi. So 3 times of that will be your three-phase power that we had already discussed. So again, same thing, but 3 VPH IPH cos phi. Remember this, because in single phase, this was VRMS, IRMS cos phi. But now over here, there is no RMS. There is PH or L, means phase voltage or line voltage. So 3 VPH IPH cos phi. Put the relation over here. IL equal to root 3 IPH and VL equal to VPH. Put the relation over there, you will get this equation. So in this equation, if you see the last class lecture, all are same. So you remember one formula only, both are for the, means if you write root 3 VL IL cos phi, that goes for both star and delta. What? This is a unit. Root 3 VL IL sin phi is your VAR and 3 VPH IPH is your apparent power. Is a Apparent power. So apparent power is basically your phasor sum of P plus Q. So if you do P square plus Q square and do square root, you will get apparent power. Active power is the total power consumed by the system or the network, and reactive power is the total power which is consumed by your, means not consumed, total energy or the power dissipated or um, cycled, rather it will be cycled for an inductive reactance. So whatever energy it gives, it takes, it returns it back to the source. So it is a cycle of power which your inductive reactance or capacitive reactance takes. So these are the three powers which you need to calculate.
Sir, repeat the definition of apparent power.
Apparent power is just the phasor sum of your P and Q. So if you draw, you have not done this in single phase, apparent power. I think you may have done in single phase.
Done,
It is,
done, done, sir.
yeah, it is basically the phasor sum of your P and Q, or the total RMS power of a system. If you consider single phase, you write VRMS, IRMS. Okay. So it's in three phase, you do three times of that. Instead of RMS, I'll remove that 3 VI. So three times the RMS power of the system, you can say. So you might have seen in over there, you might have read power triangle, right? This was S, this was P, this was Q. This was 90 degrees. So S is equal to root over P square plus Q square. See, root over P square plus Q square, cos square plus sine square is 1. So ultimately remains root 3 VLI only, root 3 VLI. So that's why I told you phasor sum of P and Q. You can do like this also. You can see. And this thing I think you have done in start delta transformation also, but still we'll go through it. So what happens, we need, if we do some balance start to delta connection, that means, what I'm saying balance means, if I'm taking a delta like this or a star anything, balance means I told you all impedances will be same. So this is 10, this will be 10, this will be 10, not 10 5 5. Then you have to go for those conversion which we have learned in this R1 plus R2 into R2 R3 by R1, those conversions you have to go for. But if it is balanced system, you know this one, it will be delta by 3 and all, but still we'll go through it. So suppose if it is a star connected system given, so line voltage let it be VL and let it be IL, and impedance per phase be ZY. Okay, and remember one thing, very important over here, when you will be doing problems we'll also see, but before that I am telling you all impedances, all Z values given in this case. Okay, kindly mute yourself. Okay, when you will get this one, a VL IL impedance per phase is your Z star. Yeah, all impedances in three-phase system will be given as per phase values. Okay, so if you recall the facts, I'll just tell you just in 1 minute. If you recall the fact, Z is equal to V by I. We know this in single phase, but over here all Z that will be given is per phase value, not ZL. It will be given in your question ZPH. So obviously this will be VPH by IPH. So all values will be given per phase. This is this delta. So if I say this as 10, this as 10, this as 10, so I will say ZPH is equal to 10. ZPH is equal to 10. ZPH is equal to 10. So Z is V by I, and if you give a suffix PH over here, it will be also have a suffix PH. Over here also you will have a suffix PH. Okay. So we know for this star, VL equal to root 3 VPH. So you can write VPH equal to VL by root 3. IPH equal to IL in case of star we know. So what will be ZY? Just now I have told you VPH by IPH. So VL by root 3 by IPH. So you'll get VL by root 3 IL. If you do this, now if you want to convert this star into a equivalent delta. So if you are considering the equivalent delta, your voltage and current will be same because it is a balanced system. So voltage VL and IL will be same. So VL and IL will be same. So what will change then? Obviously the impedance. If you are keeping the V and IL constant, so what will change is your impedance. Now we'll write the relation that we have studied just now in delta. VPH is equal to VL, IPH is equal to IL by root 3. So Z delta is equal to VPH by IPH. So VL by IL by root 3. So that gives you root 3 VL by IL. Now from here, if you relate this over here, what you can write? VL by IL, right? VL by IL over here. What have you done? Yeah, ZY is equal to VL by IL root 3. So you can do it 3 times of Z star. So 3 into VL by root 3 IL, which I have written over here. This 3 root 3 cancels out, so you get root 3 VLIL. So root 3 VLIL. So Z delta is nothing but 3Z star, or Z star is nothing but Z delta by 3. That means what I am trying to say is that if in a delta all the resistances or impedances are equivalent to 10 ohm each, if all are equal, then Z star will be 10 by 3. So if you are converting star to delta, this applies for your DC also. So if it is in delta given 10 ohms for the resistance or impedance, Zy will be 10 by 3 if it is equal. Otherwise, you have to go by those formulas which we have studied earlier. Okay. So I've made a summary over here. You can go through it. I'm leaving it up to you. All this which I have studied, all the phase current relationship, power and all, I've made a summary over here and kept it for you so that you can easily go through it and understand all the important things which we had studied. Next thing, we'll go into problem of three phase. Means this star and delta connection will go into three phase. Tell me one thing. Have you done problems with this J to theta conversion in single phase? Angle to J conversion, J form to this one. I think till now you have done. Anyone? Can you tell me?
Not
This,
yet, sir.
not yet. Okay, we'll just go through this very fast. So we will have you will have two forms over here. You know that R plus JXL for inductor. You know that for R minus JXC for capacitor. RL series circuit, RC series circuit. You have done RLC
Yes,
series
sir.
circuit. Okay. Then you know then it comes R plus JXL, R minus JXC, R plus JXL minus X. So that J terms comes over here since it is AC. So we have two forms over here, A plus JB, and another form we have C at an angle theta. Why these two forms are needed? Because you need some mathematics, you need to perform some phasor algebras. So if it is in this form, J form, you can do plus and minus. Direct plus, how you do? A plus C, and the real imaginary parts gets added, B plus D. If you do subtraction, it will be A minus C, B minus D. If it is in angle form, this angle form, so you will see, do what you will do, direct this C and D is your magnitude which will get multiplied. So if you C at an angle theta 1 into D at an angle theta 2, if you do, so you will directly multiply it. So CD it will become, and angle becomes added. So theta 1 plus theta 2. If it is divide, then magnitude C and D becomes normal division, C by D. I have taken an example later also, you can see. And this theta 2 comes in the numerator and becomes minus. So ultimately theta 1 minus theta 2. Now interconversion of forms is required, because you will see over here why interconversion is required, because in this form if it is plus, means if it is in the J form you can do only addition and subtraction. If it is in angle form you can do addition and division. If I have suppose 3 plus J4 and D at you have 3 at an angle minus 30, and I tell you to do multiplication, so you can't perform multiplication because multiplication can only be formed in angle form. So this J form has to be converted into theta form. Okay, suppose if I give between them a plus sign, so at that time plus is performed only during J. If it is in J form, so this D at an angle theta has to be converted into J. So interconversion is form is required. This I think you know it, first one. Second, many of you may not know it, but first one you know it. A plus JB converted into C at an angle theta 1. What is C? Root over A square plus B square, the magnitude. And what is theta 1? Tan inverse B by A. So A plus JB is root over A square plus B square tan inverse B by A. C at an angle theta 1 converted into A plus JB. What is A? A is C cos theta 1. Means C at an angle theta 1 is given. So A is C cos theta 1, B is C sin theta 1. So C at an angle theta 1 can be written as C cos theta 1 plus J sin theta 1. Now go through this example just. See 3 plus J4, I need to convert it into an angle. So what I will do, root over a square plus b square, root over 3 square plus 4 square, tan inverse b by a, tan inverse 4 by 5, 3, 4 by 3. So that gives me 5 at an angle 53.13. If it is minus j4, please take care of the minus sign. So it will be tan inverse minus 4 by 3. Minus sign automatically goes outside, means gets removed because minus square is plus. So that's one. So 3 square plus 4 square, tan inverse minus 4 by 3, 5 at an angle minus 53.13. Next, if you want to convert the opposite one, if you have the angle one and I want to get 3 plus j4, so what you will do, 5, first term is c cos theta 1, that means 5 cos 53.14 plus j 5 sin 53.1. So you do this in calculator, you will get 3 plus j4. And if it is minus, take care of the minus sign. See, in my cos I have used minus, in sine I have used minus, and you will get this one. Now I have shown for you some multiplication also. If I do this 2 multiplication, I told you 5 into 5, it will be 25. And this angle gets added. So 53.13 minus 53.13 is 0. If you do division, 5 by 5 normal division, that gives you 1. And 53.13, this new denominator term comes in the numerator and becomes plus. So 53.13 plus 53.13 gives you 106.26. So this is what you need for conversion. I think in when you will study AC problems, I will tell you again once more. Just for now, we'll go through this because in one problem you need this one. That's 17. Okay, not this one. So 3 equal impedances of 8 plus J10 connected in star. Now, even if it is not stated whether it is phase impedance or L, line impedance we don't say. We'll consider it as ZPH only. So see, I have written ZPH, 8 plus J10. And plus J means it is inductive load only. You know R plus JXL is for your inductive load. So this is basically inductance. These two things should be coming in your mind when you see the value. Then next thing that should come strike into your mind is it is star connection. Okay. Then the further connected to a 440 volt 50 hertz supply. So 50 hertz is your F. Voltage is given 440. Now take care of this voltage. This voltage is always given line voltage. Impedance always given phase. Voltage always given line. So VL is 440 volt. If it is mentioned phase voltage of 440, then VPH is 440. If it is not mentioned, then it is line voltage. If you consider your single phase, it was RMS. If 440 volt is a single phase supply, then it would have been RMS. But for this one, it is VL. Now we have to calculate the phase voltage. Calculate phase voltage. In case of what? Star. We'll go to the previous slide. So VL was equal to root 3 VPH. So VPH is equal to VL by root 3. So VL by root 3. 440 by root 3. That gives you 254.03. Phase angle. Now, in order to get the phase angle, we have to convert this J form into your angle form. That's why I have shown you. So how to form into angle form? What you do, root over 5 square plus 10 square, tan inverse B by A, tan inverse 10 by 5. So you do this in your calculator, you will get this value. So this 12.81 is your magnitude of your ZPH magnitude, and your angle is your phase angle over here. So that is 51.34 degrees. So this is how you should calculate your phase angle, and how to convert this into this I have told you. Next, phase current. Phase current means what? IPH. That means VPH by ZPH. So VPH, you know, 254.03. ZPH is 12.81. You can use using the angle also, no problem. You can use without the angle also. But in order to calculate phase angle or your power factor, you need this angle. So angle conversion is required. Without this angle, you can't find out your power factor. So 254.03 divided by 12.81. Normal, just normal. VPH by ZPH. 18.83. Next, what you are told to find out, line current. Star connection. Connection is star. We'll go to the previous slide. So line current is equal to phase current in case of star. So line current is equal to phase current. So is equal to 19.83. Next is what? Active power, reactive power. We'll go to the formula active power. Root 3 VLIL cos phi, or we could have used, we can use 3 VPH IPH cos phi. Reactive power is root 3 VLIL sin phi. So use the value over here, root 3 VL IL cos phi. So root 3 is this one, all magnitudes only. So VL is 440, IL is 19.83, phi you have calculated 51.34, phi is 51.34. Substitute it, get your value. Kilowatt, remember your unit. Q root 3 VL sin phi, substitute the values 11.81 kVA. Okay, all are coming in kilo into 10 to the power 3. So instead of writing into 10 to the power 3, I have used kilowatt. So please take care of this. How to calculate?
Sir,
Tell.
Sir, can we use calculator in interconversion in exam also?
Yes, yes, yes. Calculators are you are allowed to use calculators. No problem.
Sir,
Okay.
when we are asked to find phase current,
Yes.
we only consider a magnitude, nor we do not care about the phase voltage and phase current angle.
You could have considered your angle. No problem. Both would have given the same result. See, I'll just show you for you. This is 254. This is directly given phase voltage 440 volt. No phase angle is given. So what I will write over here is 254. I'm not taking that 0.03 at an angle 0 degree. And what was my Z is 12.81 at an angle 51.34. So 12.81 at an angle minus plus, right, plus 51.84 degree. Why I have showed you in terms of magnitude? Because there will be no confusion of this angle. See how I told you to do this division. Normal to 54 by 12.81, that will give you this 19.83 only. So 19.83 only. Only thing, if you are doing by this, then you show your angle 0 minus 54, 1.84 minus 51.84. Both are same, no problem. What it means is that if you draw the phasor diagram, if you draw a voltage like this, this minus means lag. So I'll draw a current like this I. So this angle is how much? Is 51.84. So it's easy to draw phasor diagram using this angle approach. Okay, that's why you need that angle. You can show this answer also 19.83 at an angle minus 53.14. You will be given full marks only. If you show 19.83 also, you will be given full marks. No problem. Okay. So next problem. Next problem, what I have shown over here, I have taken a delta connection. Once I showed you by star, this second problem is by delta. Load is 8 minus J6. Now from here you can understand this is R minus JXC. So it is a capacitive load per phase connected to 3-phase. Same problem, same type of problem. Only I am just showing you what happens to that angle in terms of minus. Okay, that's why I showed you this minus problem. So ZPH is this one, VL is this one. All voltages I told you will be line voltage. So this voltage directly given will be line voltage. X is this one. So we are told to find out power factor. So power factor, you need to find out the angle. So first you need to find out the phase angle, then cos of that. So in order to find phase angle, just now we had seen we need to find out our phi, means this angle, right? Z we have to represent in angle form. Or you can find out through current also. I can show by that one. Okay, what I have shown you, we do it like that only because last procedure was same. So 8 minus J6 you convert in angle form, root over 8 square plus 6 square. Tan inverse, take care of this minus sign. Minus 6 by 8, then only this will come minus. Please take care of this. Okay. So 10 at an angle minus 36.87. Okay. So we'll take the magnitudes 10, phi is 36.87. So cos of that 36.87 gives you 0.8 leading. Now for here, why I'm taking this as plus over here leading, because I know for a capacitive load, your current leads. So that's why cos of this angle 0.8 will give you leading power factor. And besides, just now I showed how to draw the phasor, means just now I have showed you how to calculate IPH is equal to VPH by ZPH. So ZPH in the bottom, means in the denominator, it has a minus sign. If it goes in the denominator, numerator, it will be plus 36.87. So ultimately it becomes plus, and plus means what? Leading. We can't say from this minus sign leading or lagging. Okay, from ZPH, whatever the sign is that, you can't say it leading or lagging. Only from the sign which is in the current, you can say it leading or lagging. Or since I is inversely proportional to Z, if it is minus, then you say it is leading. If it is plus, you say it lagging. Like that you can remember. Slowly you study, you can find out some shortcut methods also, how to relate each and everything. For now, you should understand what is this meaning. So 0.8, why I'm writing leading? Because I know it is a capacitive load. For a capacitance, current leads. So leading. All leading and lagging are written in terms of current. Next, same thing, line current. So VL equal to VPH for delta. IPH equal to VPH by ZPH. I have written in terms of magnitude. So 230 by 10, 23, you could have taken in terms of angle, no problem. So IL is equal to root 3 IPH, 23 root 3 is equal to 39.8. And at last, reactive power, whatever power is told to calculate, you see it and do using form. Rest are all same. So this is balance delta, balance star. Yeah. Last problem is type of RLC series circuit problem, which we will do in single phase also, over here also the same type, only this is three phase. So you read the question, 415 volt is direct given, so obviously line voltage. So line voltage, 50 hertz frequency. Then all three has three identical impedances, that is all balanced. Impedance consists of resistance, capacitance, inductance in series. So each branch has like this, RLC, like this. The third branch goes over here. I'm not drawing it over. I will start. Oh, sorry, I have done delta, means it will be in star. All three branches has both resistance, inductance as well as capacitance. So first thing first, what you have to do, you have to convert it in ohms. If inductance value is in microfarad and Henry, and capacitance value is in farad, first step will always be in converting it into ohms. Previously, you see the problems, this was directly given ohms. So XL was given directly, or XC was given, because these are ohms. Now you have to convert it into XL and XC. So first step, always to check the unit of capacitance and inductance. So what I have done is found that XL, you know what is XL, 2 pi FL. 2 pi into 50 into 0.1 as given, so 31.42. Similarly, find out XC, 1 by 2 pi FC, 1 by 2 pi into 50 into 177 into 10 to the power minus 6 gives you this. Then what you have to find out, Z. You know for a RLC series circuit, what is Z? R plus JXL minus XC. So ZPH is equal to R plus JXL minus XC. Find it, find the J value, convert it into angle. I'm not showing it over here. How to do it, you know it, how to do it. Please verify it using the formulas. If you have any doubt how this is coming, you can tell me in the next class. Try to find out this on your own. Power factor, you can find out cos of this angle, right? Which is greater, you are getting plus J. Plus J indicates XL, means it is more of a inductive circuit, that is XL greater than XC, so lagging power factor. So that's why 0.744 lag is my power factor. First problem, first power factor is my this one. From this you have to write down lag. Then next things are all same. Phase current in case of star. So VPH is equal to VL by root 3. So 415 by root 3 gives you 239.6. IPH is VPH by ZPH. So 239.6 by 20.14 as 11.9. So next procedures are all the same. Only thing, what is the exception over here? All units are first converted into ohms. Then Z is calculated. Previously, what was there? Z was already given. So now Z has to be calculated. Then all the procedures has to be done. So what is for star IL equal to IPH? So we had already calculated IPH for 11.9. So this comes 11.9, and I think you can do this all the 3 powers. Just putting the formulas, get the values. Try this on your own, and next class you tell me if you have any doubt. I have kept 3 problems, 2-3 problems over here also. You can practice this. Answers are given. Try it out. If in case of any problem, you can tell me. So today's lecture ends over here. If any problem regarding anything, you can ask.